I want to have a look at the grassland and discuss what Ed Miliband announced in the Commons this week. Well, this is the grass that the sheep have moved out of, and this is all left for haymaking. What I love about grass, you've got clover in here as well, you can see in the mix, that fixes nitrogen, and all the grassland is organic here. And the great thing about grass is it's a perennial, and that was the slope where I said the rams were just up the top. That is super steep over there, and no way could we farm this in an arable rotation. We could some of this, admittedly, but a lot of the grassland here is way too steep and just hasn't got the guts to support arable production. You want a flatter field, you want all the organic matter and stuff. So this is permanent pasture. And we have a really good way of converting this grass into a commercial crop, and that is grazing with animals. And I include cattle and sheep, and this is a typical sheep area, the Cotswolds. And it's been going on for centuries for good reason, because it suits the ground, and grass, the type of grass we grow here does well, sheep do well, everyone's a winner. But Ed Miliband has a fixation on net zero, and they have the latest report. The 7th carbon budget was announced to the Commons on Tuesday this week, and they are looking for an 87% reduction in carbon dioxide levels from 1990 by 2040 now. So 87 by 2040, 100% by 2050, which was set by Theresa May way back when, before COVID. And it's starting to get real now, because an 87% reduction by 2040, the Climate Committee and Miliband expect there to be a 27% reduction in grazing livestock in this country. Meat production, they want us to consume 25% less meat as well. And I just think they're on planet Gaga land, because this is what this grassland does. It's what Britain does really well, is using this grass. Nearly 70% of the UK farmed area is grass. And just to say, oh, we're going to have a 27% reduction in livestock numbers because of net zero, farmers everywhere thinking, how can this just go through without discussion, and that's the end of it? And the other thing is, demand at the moment for red meat is really high, particularly with sheep. A fat lamb, you thought you were doing really well, 80 to 100 pounds. Fat lamb today is selling over 200 pounds a head. Massive jump in 2026. Partly because we have more people living in the UK than perhaps we had 5-10 years ago, and a lot of them have come from regions of the world where sheep meat is highly prized, and they have religious festivals and things. Long story short, there is more demand for sheep meat than there used to be. Funny enough, we've actually already had a herd reduction from 1990 to today of sheep of around 26%. Ed Miliband means a further 26-27% reduction in herd numbers from now. Well, I don't understand it, especially when the market is saying there is massive demand for the sheep meat. All we're going to do, the demand I don't think is going to go away. We'll just import more from Australia and New Zealand. And what are we going to do with this grassland? In the report I read, they want further tree planting happening, but we all got to eat. And I think when it starts getting to this level, when we have demand there, it's like telling me not to grow wheat, even though the wheat price has gone up to £400. Oh, we don't want you growing wheat, and we're not sure about it for the net zero. The demand is there, and it's the same with meat production. And also, I just simply don't believe there is any impact on carbon emissions from this, and you'll be people shouting at the computer or TV saying, oh, but it's methane from the sheep that does it, and we've got to reduce the amount of methane. Where does that methane come from? Do they ever question that? A sheep is not born with a ton of methane that just miraculously appears in its body and then it dissipates throughout its life. It's a natural carbon cycle. It only produces methane by eating the grass grass, and the grass has photosynthesized and absorbed CO2 from the atmosphere, used sunlight and a bit of magic from the soil, bulks out, sheep eats it, we eat the meat. Sheep has produced methane, but that methane was already in the cycle anyway. We're not increasing the amount of CO2. We're just getting a food and a lot of other benefits from having sheep grazing this land. And I just despair that it's just, no, we've got to have 25% less meat produced. What about just producing meat in a sustainable fashion, as we have been doing in this area and many other areas of the UK for hundreds of years? Just get some science in there instead of just taking this rhetoric, oh, it's net zero, got to reduce meat consumption. Just madness. But there we go. That seems to be the world we're living in at the moment. And much as I will commentate it and other farmers will commentate it, will that message get through to Westminster? Well, we'll have to wait and see.